Chapter 2433. Lu Ming had a feeling that if he did not use his physical body now, just relying on world power and Tao of Sovereign, he could kill a one-star heavenly emperor. One had to know, his current realm was still just one-star great emperor. If he could kill a one-star heavenly emperor, it was equivalent to crossing an entire major realm to kill the enemy. Happening in the heavenly emperor realm was something inconceivable. The higher up, the higher the cultivation, the harder it was to jump realms to battle. Those able to cultivate to the heavenly emperor realm, which one was not a peerless genius. Only by grasping the strongest laws could one cultivate to the heavenly emperor realm. Hence at the back, being able to cross a minor realm to fight the enemy was already extremely difficult. Let alone crossing a major realm to kill the enemy. Furthermore, this was still just Lu Ming's estimation. Adding in the power of the physical body, Lu Ming's combat strength would be even stronger. From now on, Lu Ming was the powerhouses who stepped into the heavenly realm, primordial realm, and evil god realm. Now isn't the time to leave yet. With my strength, even if I leave this place, I'll be discovered very soon and will be caught up by the other party. Furthermore, even if I leave this place, in the vast evil god realm, where should I go? Lu Ming started thinking again. In the end, he planned on finding Qing Song and the rest to discuss, and even bring Qing Song and the rest to escape together. Lu Ming put away his cultivation, got up, walked to the door, and pushed forcefully. The door was pushed open. The Eternal World prison was not managed strictly. The main thing was that there was the foreign race's sacred ancestors' treasure, enveloping all directions. That layer of restriction, no one could break it. Hence, people like Duel and the other foreign races were very assured. Normally, Lu Ming and the rest could freely enter and exit the various stone rooms. In Duel and the rest's view, Lu Ming and the rest could at most only move around within the range of the restriction, and could not run. Moreover, those above Heavenly Emperor still had chains and armors to seal cultivation, an additional layer of insurance. Lu Ming walked out of the stone room and followed the passageway. Soon, he arrived at the door of another secret room. Knocking on the door, a voice came from inside the door. "Come in." Lu Ming pushed open the stone door and walked in. Inside was precisely Qing Song. Qing Song was lying on a green rock, leisurely drinking wine. "Haha, brother Lu Ming, you came at the right time. Drink with me." Qing Song smiled, took out a pot of wine, and tossed it to Lu Ming. This wine was given to Qing Song by Lu Ming. There was no wine to drink in the eternal prison. Lu Ming took it and took a sip. "Brother Lu Ming, you made a breakthrough in your cultivation?" Suddenly, Qing Song's eyes lit up. Although his cultivation was sealed by the chain armor, his eyes were still sharp. He could tell at a glance that Lu Ming had made a breakthrough. "I just broke through," Lu Ming said. "Let me see what kind of great Tao you have comprehended," Qing Song hurriedly said. He was very curious. Lu Ming had mastered 81 nomological laws. He was also very curious about what kind of great Tao he would master after breaking through to the great emperor realm. Lu Ming nodded. He also wanted to ask Qing Song about this. Qing Song had lived for a long time. He might know what kind of great Tao he had comprehended. With a thought, Lu Ming's body emitted a dominating aura. At the same time, a purple-gold light spread out from his body. As soon as he sensed Lu Ming's aura, Qing Song's expression changed and became a little serious. "Brother Qing Song, do you know what kind of Tao this is?" Lu Ming asked. Qing Song shook his head and said, "It's strange. I've never seen or heard of this kind of Tao." Qing Song looked carefully and revealed a look of surprise. "What a terrifying Tao. There's a dominating will in it. In front of this kind of Tao, I'm afraid that ordinary great Tao will be vulnerable. Only the heavenly Tao can contend against it. Moreover, your cultivation is still weak now. As your cultivation increases in the future, it will be even more shocking and powerful." "Sigh, what a pity." In the end, Qing Song sighed. "Brother Qing Song, what's a pity?" Lu Ming asked. "It's a pity that you're locked up here. Otherwise, with your talent, you might be able to create a miracle in the future and break through the last stage to enter the Supreme Realm. In that case, the Heaven Realm might be able to defeat the evil god tribe." "What a pity." Qing Song sighed. "Brother Qing Song, we might be able to get out." Lu Ming said softly. What? Qing Song glared and said, Brother Lu Ming, what do you mean by that? Brother Qing Song, I won't hide it from you. I named this great Tao the Sovereign Tao. Previously, I used the Sovereign Tao to open the restrictions of the eternal prison. Lu Ming explained the matter. What? Qing Song's eyes emitted a bright light. Even though he was sealed by the chain armor, a terrifying aura spread out. Brother Lu Ming, what you said, is it true? Qing Song's voice trembled a little. He had been imprisoned here for too long, and originally did not have any extravagant hopes of getting out. Now that he heard that he could get out, he was naturally excited. That's right, it's absolutely true. However, after opening it, I'm afraid that will be discovered by Duo Lu very soon. That's why I came to discuss it with Brother Qing Song. Lu Ming said. It's fine. As long as I can get out of the restriction, I can break free from this sealed armor. At that time, even if Duo Lu finds out, I won't be afraid of him, Qing Song said, revealing strong confidence. Qing Song was different from the Titan Longhorn Beetle and the 9 Lives demonic silkworm. In the ancient war, although he was captured, his injuries were not that serious and had long recovered. As long as he broke free from the seal, he would immediately be able to recover his peak Heavenly Emperor cultivation base. He was not afraid of Duo Lu at all. Then after we get out, where are we going? Lu Ming asked. To the hell-suppressing realm, so we have to find Wu Tai and the others. This time, take this opportunity to bring more people out. Qing Song said. Lu Ming nodded. He had the same intention. In the Eternal Cage there were too many experts. The number of Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses was also astonishing. If they could bring them out, they would definitely be able to create a lot of trouble for the evil god race. That way, the pressure on the Heaven realm side would also be reduced. This combat strength could not be given up. Immediately Lu Ming and Qing Song discussed the details, then found Wu Tai and told him about this matter. After Wu Tai heard it, he was also shocked at first, then ecstatic. The 3 people discussed who should be brought out. This matter must be carried out strictly. If they had to bring, they also had to bring people they could trust. If this matter was found out by the other races, they would probably directly seal Lu Ming, or even kill Lu Ming. Then everything would be over. After discussing, Wu Tai and Qing Song both started to take action, revealing this matter to some people they could trust, discussing when to take action. In the end, a total of more than 30 people knew about this matter. Of course, if they wanted to escape at that time, it would not be just these 30 people. Each of them could find a reason to invite some people to leave with them. As long as they did not tell them the specific details beforehand, when Lu Ming opened the restriction, everyone could escape together. In the end, they decided to wait for Duo Lu to gather them before taking action. Chapter 2434. Sure enough, half a month later, Duo gathered everyone for a competition once more. Without a doubt, Lu Ming was called up again. Lu Ming did not display the Tao of Sovereign. He just used the power of his fleshly body and a portion of world power to exchange several hundred moves with a 1-star Heavenly Emperor. Broke through. Duo's eyes flashed. He could naturally tell that Lu Ming broke through. However, even if Lu Ming broke through, he was also just a great emperor. He did not care too much. In his view, Lu Ming's physical strength was too strong. Even if he broke through in laws, it would not increase his overall combat strength too much. After more than a day, the competition ended. Lu Ming and the rest returned to their respective stone rooms. After returning to the stone room, Lu Ming waited quietly. Roughly several hours later, Lu Ming opened the stone door and headed for Qing Song's stone room. After arriving at Qing Song's stone room, he discovered that there was another large man inside besides Qing Song. This large man did not know of Lu Ming's plan. He was invited by Qing Song. Before long, Wu Tai brought 2 people and also came to Qing Song's stone room. Wu Tai, elder brother Qing Song, why did you call us here? The 2 people who came with Wu Tai asked. These 2 people also did not know the specific plan. Looking for you all for something, just follow us. Qing Song said. Finished speaking, he walked out of the stone room first. Lu Ming and the rest followed. Those few people were very curious but did not ask much, following Lu Ming and the rest. Lu Ming and the rest entered a passageway and casually strolled around, heading toward the periphery of the Myriad Generations prison. At this moment, many people started moving. Those who knew the plan either invited 1 or 2 or 3 people, all casually strolling around, heading toward the place Lu Ming and the rest agreed upon. Lu Ming and the rest turned left and right, bypassing several passageways, and then arrived at a relatively large stone room. This stone room was considered the outermost stone room. Through the passageway outside the stone room, one could walk to the edge of the restriction. When Lu Ming and the others arrived, there were already a few people waiting there. As time passed, more and more people came to this place. A moment later, there were a total of 133 people. Of these 133 people, there were a total of 100. The other 3 people wore chain armor on their bodies, indicating that they were all Heavenly Emperor realm existences. Only 30 people were below the Celestial Emperor. "Everyone, why have you brought us here?" Another person asked. Those who were invited were also very curious. Qing Tsang and the others did not reply. "Since everyone is here, let's go," Qing Tsang said as he strode away. Those who were invited became even more curious. However, those who were invited were usually on very good terms with someone, so they didn't ask much and just followed Qing Tsang and the others. Gradually, they approached the entrance of the passageway. They could even see the restrictive light screen outside through the passageway. Could it be that you want to escape? Finally, someone guessed what Lu Ming and the others were going to do. Their faces immediately changed wildly. This restriction could not be broken at all. Moreover, those above the Celestial Emperor realm were all wearing chain armor. Their cultivation was sealed. Wanting to escape was simply impossible. Forcefully going head-on like this would only lead to death. Do you all want to court death? Someone was somewhat anxious. If we don't have confidence, would we do this? Just follow. Someone said. Many people's faces became incomparably solemn, changing indeterminately. They did not expect that Qing Tsang and the rest actually wanted to escape. For countless years, no one had escaped. What are you all trying to do? Right at this time, a loud roar came from the entrance of the passageway. A burly figure appeared. It was a foreign race, wearing blood-red armor, his aura powerful. Everyone's faces changed wildly. Normally, this passageway had no foreign races. Because the foreign races were 100% confident in their restrictions, the guard was very lax. There were no foreign races guarding this place at all. Today a foreign race actually appeared. Furthermore, it looked like his cultivation was very profound. It was a Heavenly Emperor realm foreign race. Unlucky, it was really too unlucky. Qing Tsang, Wu Tai, and the rest's faces became extremely ugly. A Heavenly Emperor realm foreign race was troublesome. Qing Tsang could tell that this was a 1-star Heavenly Emperor realm foreign race. One had to know, their characters above the Heavenly Emperor realm all wore chain armor. Only those below the Heavenly Emperor realm did not wear armor. They could not do anything to this Heavenly Emperor at all. Once the other party caused a commotion and alarmed Duo Le, then everything would be over. All of the plans would be ruined. Many people who knew the plan were burning with anxiety. What to do? Swoosh. Right at this time, a figure rushed out explosively, charging towards this foreign race Heavenly Emperor. It was Lu Ming. Lu Ming directly made his move. At this time, there was nothing to hesitate about. Only by killing this foreign race could they escape. Otherwise, it was all over. Lu Ming's speed was astonishing. His entire body was suffused with a purple light. The moment he attacked, he used all his strength, using the Tao of Sovereign. In the process of rushing out, the Great Baron's spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. Lu Ming erupted with all his strength, man and spear as one, and stabbed towards the foreign race Heavenly Emperor. The foreign race Heavenly Emperor's pupils shrank rapidly. This was because he felt a fatal threat from Lu Ming's attack. It was unbelievable that a Heavenly Emperor gave him such a feeling. However, at this time he did not have time to think too much. He roared and erupted with all his strength, forming layers of defense. As long as he blocked this move and escaped in another direction, spreading the news, Lu Ming and the rest would be finished, and he would be able to make a contribution. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming's attack had already reached. The foreign race Heavenly Emperor's expression changed immediately. This was because the defense he set up could not block Lu Ming's attack at all. Wherever the spear light passed, all of his defenses collapsed in an instant. No, how is this possible? The foreign race Heavenly Emperor roared in his heart. Puark! A long spear pierced through the void, directly piercing through the space between his eyebrows. Buzz! The long spear shook. The foreign race Heavenly Emperor was torn apart. Dead. Everyone was dumbfounded with their mouths agape, completely stunned. A one-star Heavenly Emperor was actually insta-killed by Lu Ming in one move. My God! What kind of strength was this? Lu Ming was just a Heavenly Emperor realm. He could actually insta-kill a one-star Heavenly Emperor in one move. This kind of combat strength was seriously too terrifying. Actually, this was also normal. The Tao of Sovereign was too powerful. Even Lu Ming's world power contained a trace of purple gold power. Lu Ming called it the power of Sovereign. Now Lu Ming did not need a physical body. Just relying on the law system, he felt that he could kill a one-star Heavenly Emperor. Just now, adding in the power of the physical body and the power of the Great Baron Spear. Insta-killing a one-star Heavenly Emperor in one move was not surprising. Swish! Chapter 2435. After Lu Ming rushed out of the passage, he put away the great desolate spear and directly slammed his palm towards the restriction light screen. What is he trying to do? Those who didn't know the plan were shocked, and their expressions changed drastically. It was impossible for Lu Ming to break the restriction light screen like this, and it would even alarm Duo Lu. But it was already too late for them to stop it. Buzz! Lu Ming's palm carried a purplish gold light as it bombarded the restriction light screen. Layers of ripples appeared on the restriction light screen. Lu Ming used the Tao of Sovereigns to break the restriction. The Tao of Sovereigns ruled over all things. Even this restriction light screen could be ruled. Layers of ripples appeared on the restriction light screen. Qing Tsang and the rest stared with wide eyes, watching nervously. Although they heard Lu Ming say that he could break the restriction, they had not seen it with their own eyes, so it was inevitable that they were nervous. Buzz! Suddenly, the restriction light screen shook, and then, a crack appeared on it. The crack grew rapidly, forming a huge hole. It opened. The restriction light screen opened. Qing Tsang and the rest were overjoyed, their faces revealing excitement. And those who were invited and did not know the plan were all dumbfounded, unable to believe their eyes. The restriction light screen was actually opened by Lu Ming, someone who had not broken into the Heavenly Emperor realm. How was this possible? Legend had it that the restriction light screen of the Eternal Prison was formed by a treasure of the foreign race's sacred ancestor. It was sturdy and immortal, and could not be broken at all. Even a peak Heavenly Emperor would find it difficult to break it. But now, it was broken by Lu Ming. Slap. Someone slapped himself fiercely. What are you doing? Someone asked in surprise. I want to see if I'm dreaming. Is it because I want to go out too much that I'm daydreaming? So it's not, ha ha ha. That person laughed loudly. The others. Go quickly, otherwise when Duo Lu finds out, none of you will be able to leave. Qing Tsang let out a loud roar and rushed forward. The others also seemed to have woken up from a dream and ran wildly. Quick, I can't hold on for long. Lu Ming shouted as well. He realized that the amount of energy consumed to open the restriction light screen was terrifying. Now his power of the world was depleting at an alarming speed. Whoosh! Whoosh! Qing Tsang, Wu Tai, and the others quickly rushed out and finally arrived outside the light barrier. At this time, Duoli, who had been in seclusion, suddenly opened his eyes, his expression extremely ugly. Damn it! He had instantly discovered Lu Ming and the others through the outsider's sacred patriarch's treasure. He was extremely shocked. Lu Ming was actually able to open the light screen. This was something that had never happened before. Damn it! None of you can leave. Die! Duo roared, controlling the sacred ancestor's treasure. 1. At this moment, the bead above the cage of 10,000 generations was vibrating violently and emitting a terrifying aura, causing the light barrier to tremble violently. Puff! Lu Ming felt a terrifying force pressing down on him. His body shook violently as he spat out large mouthfuls of blood, and the hole that he opened up was rapidly healing. Fortunately, everyone had escaped. Lu Ming's muscles shook fiercely and he rushed out. Before the light barrier healed, he rushed out of the light barrier. None of you can leave. Duel's roar came out from the cage of 10,000 generations. An incomparably terrifying aura erupted, spreading out for a radius of 1,000,000 miles. Duel went crazy. A peak heavenly emperor went crazy. It was earth-shattering. It was too terrifying. At this moment, in the cage of 10,000 generations, those who did not escape were all shocked. What's going on? What happened? Duel went crazy. Could it be that someone wants to escape? Who is it? So bold. Many people guessed. Everyone attack for me. Chase after the fugitives. Kill without mercy. Duel's voice sounded again. He chased after Lu Ming and the others at an extremely fast speed. In the cage of 10,000 generations, all the outsider races were alarmed and also chased after Lu Ming and the others. Someone escaped. The remaining people who did not escape were dumbfounded with shock. There was actually someone who could really escape. Roar. At this moment, outside the light screen, Qing Tsang raised his head to the sky and roared. A roar shook the firmament. Resplendent golden light erupted from Qing Tsang's body. Endless golden light battered that chain armor. Bang, bang, bang. On the chain armor, explosions were unceasingly happening. Qing Tsang's aura became stronger and stronger. Qing Tsang was one of the top 10 battle beasts back then. A peak heavenly emperor existence, his combat strength was shockingly strong. He could break open the chain armor with his own strength alone. It was just that in the past, inside the restriction light screen, even if he broke open the armor, he could not get out. He would be suppressed by the sacred ancestor weapon controlled by Duel. But now that he was outside, he had no scruples. Qing Tsang. In the distance, an earth-shattering roar came. A burly figure appeared. It was Duel. Duel had arrived. Swish. Duel's third eye burst forth with a light of destruction. This light of destruction actually turned into a giant hand, directly passing through the restriction light screen, and bombarding down towards Lu Ming and the others. He directly made a killing move, wanting to kill Lu Ming, Qing Tsang, and the others. Roar. Qing Tsang let out a long roar, and a terrifying force erupted from his body, directly destroying the chain armor. With the chain armor destroyed, Qing Tsang's aura became even more terrifying. His body emitted boundless golden light, and his body rapidly transformed into a giant lion. A giant lion with 9 heads, its entire body golden, as if it was carved from gold. Top 10 battle beasts, 9-headed golden lion. Roar, roar, roar. The 9 heads roared one after another, and the entire eternal cage began to shake violently. The space around it exploded into smithereens in an instant. The giant hand of destruction that Duo Lu had unleashed also shook violently and was blocked. At this moment, Wu Tai and the others were also crazily attacking the chain armor. However, their strength was not as good as Qing Tsang's. For a time, they could not break through at all. In the distance, powerful auras rose one after another. The other foreign race powerhouses were also about to rush over. Big brother Wu Tai, let me help you. Lu Ming came to Wu Tai's side and used his sovereign power to help Wu Tai break the chain armor. The sovereign power could even break the restriction light screen set up by the foreign race's sacred ancestor weapon. Logically speaking, it could also break this armor. Sure enough, after the sovereign power poured into the armor, the seal on the armor was quickly destroyed by the sovereign power. In an instant, all the seal power was broken. Boom. Wu Tai erupted, and the armor exploded. Wu Tai's body emitted a terrifying aura. Ha ha ha, I'm finally free. Wu Tai laughed loudly. His aura was like smoke, soaring into the sky, stirring up the wind and clouds. Although Wu Tai was not as strong as Qing Tsang, he was also an extremely terrifying existence. His cultivation had reached 6-star Heavenly Emperor. He was not far from peak Heavenly Emperor. Damn it! Duo roared, erupting with all his strength, attacking with terrifying attacks. However, Qing Tsang was not afraid of him at all. The 9 lion heads roared, spewing out pillars of light, fighting with Duel. The two of them had similar cultivation, and the two of them were locked in battle. Chapter 2436. At this time, some of the other foreign race powerhouses also rushed out of the light screen and charged over. Brother Lu Ming, go help the others. I'll block them, Wu Tai said. He strode forward and charged towards those foreign races. As for Lu Ming, he rushed towards another person and helped him break the chain armor. With Lu Ming's help, that person also broke the armor in a few moves, and a terrifying aura emanated from his body. This was also a powerhouse not weaker than Wu Tai, a 6-star heavenly emperor from the hell-suppressing realm. This time, among the people who escaped, it belonged to this person and Wu Tai. Qing Tsang was the strongest. Brother Lu Ming, many thanks. This person cupped his fists and then rushed towards Wu Tai. Together with Wu Tai, they fought the foreign race powerhouses. There weren't many outsider experts guarding the world of Eons. There were only 18 heavenly emperors. Because with the foreign race sacred ancestor weapon and duel, a peak heavenly emperor, it was enough. There was no need for so many powerhouses to guard. Of the 18 heavenly emperors, one was killed by Lu Ming earlier. There were still 17. Among them, there was only one 6-star heavenly emperor. At this time, with two 6-star heavenly emperors taking action, the foreign race side immediately fell into a disadvantage. Many people heaved a sigh of relief. They were safe. At least, with their current strength, they no longer feared the foreign race. Lu Ming continued to help the others break the armor. There were more and more experts on their side, and more people joined the battle. The foreign race side was completely no match. Several heavenly emperors were killed consecutively. The remaining foreign race heavenly emperors did not dare to fight at all, and retreated into the light screen. Damn it! Duel roared again and again, his expression extremely ugly. He could only fight with Qing Tsang and could not deal with the others at all. This was outside the light screen, and he could not control the power of the restriction to deal with Qing Tsang and the rest. That brat, it's all that brat Lu Ming. Duel roared in his heart, his gaze sweeping towards Lu Ming, filled with ferocious killing intent. All of this was because of Lu Ming. If not for Lu Ming, Qing Tsang and the rest would not have been able to escape. He wished he could grind Lu Ming's bones to dust. Now it was too late for regrets. If he had known earlier, he would have brought Lu Ming with him. Dole, I'll take you on. Wu Tai roared and charged at Duolei. Another 6-star heavenly emperor and two 5-star heavenly emperors also charged towards Duolei. As for Lu Ming, he continued to help the others break their armors. Qing Tsang's battle prowess was not weaker than Duel's to begin with. Now, with the other 4 experts joining forces, Duel was at a disadvantage. Roar! Roar! Qing Tsang's body was as large as a mountain, and his entire body was covered in golden light. He was incredibly ferocious, and his 9 heads attacked with 9 different abilities. As for Wu Tai and the others, they cultivated the archaic martial arts system. Their offensive power was extremely strong. With a wave of their hands, terrifying saber gleams and sword gleams burst forth, capable of splitting the heavens and earth apart. For a moment, Duoli was no match and was forced to retreat again and again. Qing Tsang seized the opportunity and rushed over. With a claw he left a deep wound on Duel's body. Duel's face was pale as he quickly retreated. Kill! Qing Tsang roared. Not wanting to let Duel off, he launched a fierce attack. Wu Tai and the others also attacked with all their might. Damn it! In the end, Duel let out an angry roar, turned around and left, charging into the restriction light screen. There was no other way. Without the help of the restriction light screen, the foreign race experts guarding the Eternal World Cage were not Qing Tsang's match at all. Go, let's leave quickly. Qing Tsang shouted, turned around and left. A powerful force swept up, sweeping up the others and turning into a beam of golden light, flying into the distance, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Quick, report the news. Send people to snipe Qing Tsang and the others along the way. We must take them down. Duel roared and gave the order. All of a sudden, more than 100 heavenly emperors escaped. There was also a peak heavenly emperor like Qing Tsang. If they could not capture them, he would definitely be punished. Immediately, they informed the 10 great royal clans of the news. And Lu Ming and the others were also making the best use of their time. Next, their destination was the Hell Suppression Realm. This was something they had planned long ago. In the vast evil god realm, only the Hell Suppression Realm could give them shelter. Otherwise, even if they escaped, they would be surrounded by the foreign races. Sooner or later, they would be captured or killed. Only by escaping into the Hell Suppression Realm would they be considered safe. Now they had to make the best use of their time, and rush to the Hell Suppression Realm with the fastest speed. It was certain that the foreign races would definitely send powerhouses to encircle and annihilate them. But what was advantageous to them was that the Eternal World Cage was not far from the Hell Suppression Realm. Qing Tsang Wu Tai and the rest wrapped the others with their power, and hurried along with all their might. As for Lu Ming, he continued to help the remaining people break their armor. Only when more people recovered their combat strength, at that time, even if they were surrounded by the foreign races, they could still fight. They specifically chose some barren mountains and uninhabited places to fly. Not long after, everyone's chain armor was broken by Lu Ming. Everyone recovered their combat strength. More than 100 heavenly emperors. This was an extremely shocking force. They increased their speed, traveling through space. Along the way, they did not encounter any obstacles at all. More than 100 heavenly emperors, too terrifying. Even if the foreign races received the news and mobilized so many powerhouses, they could not catch up to Lu Ming and the rest. If they wanted to send people to snipe, they could only send the powerhouses in front of Lu Ming and the rest. But in front of Lu Ming and the rest, how could so many powerhouses gather in such a short time? Even if some powerhouses discovered Lu Ming and the rest, they did not dare to stop them. Therefore Lu Ming and the rest had a smooth journey. After half a day, they were about to reach the Hell Suppression Realm. The Hell Suppression Realm was not an independent realm outside the Evil God realm. It was only a part of the Evil God realm. A vast area shrouded in layers of black fog. Inside the black fog was the Hell Suppression Realm. There were large numbers of foreign race armies stationed in the Hell Suppression Realm. The two sides had been fighting for countless years. The foreign races had invested a large number of powerhouses here. Because the Hell Suppression Realm was also very strong, they would often send people out to ambush the foreign races. If the foreign races did not send strong people, they would definitely be killed and defeated by the people of the Hell Suppression Realm. Outside the Hell Suppression Realm, in the east in the vast mountains, a group of people flashed in the mountains. This group of people had about 100 people, and they were all humans. They were the humans from the Hell Suppression Realm. Among them, there were 6 heavenly emperors. The rest were all great emperors. They came out this time to ambush the foreign races and hunt them down. This kind of thing had happened countless times over the years. They restrained their auras and were careful. Because when they hunted down the foreign races, they might also be hunted down by the foreign races. Passing through the vast mountains, a military camp appeared in front of them. Here, there was an army of the foreign races stationed. Their goal today was to destroy this army. Kill. The leader was a burly man with the cultivation of a 3-star heavenly emperor. He was the commander of this group of people. Chapter 24:37. Swoosh. 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 They turned into a stream of light and rushed out, killing their way into the barracks. Suddenly, one attack after another mercilessly slanted out, and a large number of foreign races were killed. Enemy attack. The roar spread throughout the barracks. Figures flew out of the barracks one after another. This was an army of 10,000 people, and the weakest was the Void Emperor realm. The strongest general was also a Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouse. This army had a total of 2 Heavenly Emperors. Kill them. As soon as the 2 Heavenly Emperors appeared, the Hell-suppressing realm human commander targeted them and charged towards them. Not good, retreat. The foreign race Heavenly Emperors discovered that there were a total of 6 Heavenly Emperors in the Hell-suppressing realm. Knowing that they were no match for them, they gave the order to retreat. One by one, the foreign races rose into the air and retreated. At the same time, a bright light soared into the sky and disappeared into the depths of the firmament. This was a signal to summon the other foreign races to come and help. Kill. The hell-suppressing realm humans began a frenzied slaughter. They were all elites, a total of 6 heavenly emperors, and the others were all great emperors. They could be said to be the elites of the elites. One by one, the foreign races were killed. In a moment, they chased for 100,000 miles and killed thousands of foreign races. However, after chasing here, they did not dare to chase anymore. If other foreign race powerhouses came to help, they would be in danger. Retreat. The hell-suppressing realm commander gave the order, and more than 100 people quickly retreated. However, before they retreated far, their expressions changed. Because behind them, there were densely packed figures, all of them foreign races. There were at least tens of thousands of foreign races, and some of the foreign races in the lead had terrifying auras. There were a total of 10 heavenly emperors. Behind them, there were a total of 10 foreign race heavenly emperors. The hell-suppressing realm humans had ugly expressions. Not good, we've been ambushed, charge forward. The hell-suppressing realm commander shouted. However, just as his words fell, the foreign races in front of them who had just fled returned, and there were even more of them. Moreover, the number of heavenly emperors in the lead had increased from 2 to 6. Moreover, one of them had an extremely terrifying aura, far above the other heavenly emperors. This was a peerless powerhouse among the foreign races. This was a 4-star heavenly emperor. Hee hee, you want to ambush us? Don't think we don't know. We're waiting for you to fall. A foreign race heavenly emperor sneered. Everyone from the purgatory realm looked hopeless. Apparently, the outsiders had set a trap for them. Once they made a move, they would be surrounded. There were 6 foreign race heavenly emperors in front, and one of them was even a 4-star heavenly emperor. Behind them were 10 foreign race heavenly emperors. While they only had 6 heavenly emperors, the disparity in strength was too great. They were not a match at all. Today, it was very likely that none of them could leave. Kill them. Fight them to the death. That's right, let's fight it out with them. If we kill one, we'll break even. If we kill 2, we'll earn. The eyes of the humans of the prison-suppressing realm were red, and they looked determined. Since he couldn't leave today, he might as well fight to the death. Even if he were to die, he would at least make the other party lose a piece of his flesh. Attack. The peerless expert of the outsiders gave the order. Kill. The humans of the purgatory realm also roared and charged at the outsiders. Both sides collided fiercely. Suddenly, screams rose and fell. Some belonged to the outsiders, and some belonged to the humans. However, although the humans of the purgatory realm were all elites, there were too many foreign races. Moreover, there were more experts than them. As soon as they fought, they were completely at a disadvantage. People were constantly killed. Kill, kill. A burly man with a saber in his hand was a peak great emperor. He slashed his saber and killed a great emperor of a foreign race. However, a heavenly emperor of a foreign race chopped him in half with an axe, and he died there. Tragic, incomparably tragic. Soon, half of the 100+ humans of the purgatory realm were killed. If this continued, it was only a matter of time before they were all wiped out. Rumble. At this moment, in the distant sky, there was a violent roar. That was the void constantly exploding, and the roar was getting louder and louder, approaching at an extremely fast speed. Even those who were fighting on both sides stopped at the same time and looked over. Boom. The void exploded, and in the void not far away, there were suddenly more than 100 people. So many experts. Feeling the aura of more than 100 people, the foreign races were almost scared to death. The aura was too terrifying. With more than 100 auras gathered together, some of the weaker foreign races were directly pressed to the ground. Brother Wu Tai, it's Brother Wu Tai! The commander of the purgatory realm shouted excitedly. These more than 100 people were naturally Lu Ming and the others. When they got close to the purgatory realm, they noticed a huge battle from afar. A battle here must be between the purgatory realm and the foreign races. Naturally, they rushed over immediately. Wu Lu, it's you guys. Wu Tai looked at the commander and then scanned the scene. When he saw the corpses of the purgatory realm humans, Wu Tai's eyes turned red. Bastards of the foreign races, die. All of you must die. Wu Tai roared. Kill them all. The others shouted and suddenly attacked, attacking the foreign races fiercely. More than 100 heavenly emperors attacked together with 30 great emperors. They were too strong, and the foreign races were no match for them. In an instant, a few thousand foreign races were killed. Go quickly! The remaining foreign races cried out in horror. How could they still dare to resist? Each and every one of them fled in panic. More than 100 heavenly emperors, how to fight? Don't even think about leaving. Kill! Kill! Large swaths of foreign races were killed, their corpses falling to the ground. Even the foreign race heavenly emperors were also instantly blown up. Among Lu Ming and the others, there were also many 4-star heavenly emperors and above. Kill, haha, kill. The remaining 50 over people of the purgatory realm all roared in wild joy. Originally, they thought that they were dead for sure this time. They did not expect that a group of experts would suddenly appear halfway. Furthermore, the number of powerhouses was frighteningly large, completely crushing the foreign races. They launched a counterattack. Run! Those foreign race heavenly emperors were incomparably terrified and focused on escaping. But being surrounded by so many heavenly emperors, how could they possibly escape? Die for me! Wu Tai blocked the foreign race's 4-star heavenly emperor and charged forward. 6-star heavenly emperor. The other party was in despair. He did not understand why so many powerhouses suddenly appeared. He fought back desperately, but the gap between a 4-star heavenly emperor and a 6-star heavenly emperor was too great. In one move he was seriously injured by Wu Tai. In the second move he was directly killed. Qing Tsung did not make a move, because there was no need. Lu Ming also did not make a move. Previously, opening the restriction light screen consumed a lot of his energy, especially after being discovered by Duo Lu. He was injured when controlling the restriction light screen. In addition, along the way he had broken the armor of others. Now he needed to recover. Lu Ming took out a large number of top-grade raw stones, devoured the raw stone's origin energy, and recovered. This was a one-sided battle without the slightest suspense. A large number of foreign races were harvested and killed. Lu Ming and the others walked into the light barrier. Walking into the light shield, Lu Ming felt that the strange movements of the prison-suppressing steel in his body had become stronger. When they all walked into the light barrier closed up again. Wu Lu, are you alright? Immediately, someone came over to greet them. Lu Ming glanced over. There were many people, all of them humans. Elder Lu, look who's back. Wu Lu laughed heartily as he walked forward, facing a white-haired old man. The old man's gaze swept over Lu Ming and the others, and a look of ecstasy appeared on his face. Wu Tai, Wang Qi, it's you guys. The old man saw Wu Tai and the others and cried out in surprise. This time, most of the people who escaped were humans from the prison-suppressing realm. There were not many from the heaven realm. When the humans of the prison-suppressing realm saw Wu Tai and the others return, they were naturally ecstatic. Elder Lu, Wu Tai and the others went up to greet them. You're all back. Good. Elder Lu was all smiles, and so were the others. With so many people returning, and all of them were heavenly emperor powerhouses, the strength of the prison-suppressing realm would increase by a notch. I heard that you guys were locked in the eternal prison. Since ancient times, no one has been able to escape from that place. How did you guys get out? Someone asked. The others also looked at Wu Tai and the others curiously. It's all thanks to Brother Lu Ming. Wu Tai first introduced Lu Ming and the others, then briefly explained how they escaped. After Elder Lu and the others heard it, they were naturally secretly amazed. Lu Ming was able to break the restrictions of the eternal prison at such a young age, and even kill a heavenly emperor. They were shocked beyond words. It's good that you're back. Let's go. I'll inform the elders to celebrate for you guys. Elder Lu said and then spread the news. Following that, they flew towards the interior of the prison-suppressing realm. The prison-suppressing realm's area was very vast, no different from a world. They flew over a large area of mountains and rivers. Suddenly, Lu Ming's pupil shrank sharply, and he was incomparably shocked. Because after flying for a while, a stone tablet appeared in front of them. This stone tablet was incomparably huge, standing tall on the ground, towering between heaven and earth. No one knew how tall it was. It emitted endless light, and a pillar of light rushed out from the tablet, straight into the sky. On the tablet, there were 3 large words: Prison Suppressing Tablet. Prison Suppressing Tablet. There was actually a prison suppressing tablet here. And it didn't look illusory, but solid. Could there be 2 prison suppressing tablets, or even more? At this moment, a thought flashed through Lu Ming's mind. Wang. At this moment, the prison suppressing tablet in Lu Ming's body shook even more violently, especially the 3 large words, Prison Suppressing Tablet, shining brightly. Wang. In front, the huge prison suppressing tablet also suddenly shook, and a terrifying wave spread between heaven and earth. What's going on? Everyone in the prison suppressing realm's expression changed drastically. The prison suppressing tablet suddenly shook, something that rarely happened. However, it wasn't over yet. The prison suppressing tablet that stood between heaven and earth shook more and more violently, buzzing non-stop. Boom. Boom. Not only that, but there were also violent roars coming from other directions, and the entire world was shaking. All the prison suppressing tablets are shaking. How is this possible? Elder Lu exclaimed in shock. The prison suppressing tablets were the foundation of the prison suppressing realm. The prison suppressing tablets were the reason why the prison suppressing world could not break in. The prison suppressing tablets produced a light shield that isolated the outside world. If not for the light shield, the prison suppressing realm would definitely not be a match for the foreign race's army, and would definitely be destroyed. The prison suppressing tablet had never trembled so violently before. What was going on? At this moment, the prison suppressing tablet in Lu Ming's body shook more and more violently, and in the end Lu Ming could no longer suppress it. Wang. Lu Ming's body emitted a dazzling glow. Thereafter, the prison suppressing steel emerged from his body and rapidly grew in size. It transformed into a gigantic steel that stood between heaven and earth, resonating with the prison suppressing steel in front of him. This is the prison suppressing master tablet. Elder Lu, Wu Tai, Wu Lu, and the others saw the prison suppressing tablet in Lu Ming's body and shouted in disbelief. The prison suppressing master tablet. Lu Ming's heart moved, and his mind spun rapidly. At this moment he thought of many things. Whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, rays of light flew over from the distance, each of them an expert. There were old people, middle-aged people, men and women, and all of them had powerful auras. They were all Empyrean realm experts. The prison suppressing master tablet. When they saw the prison suppressing tablet above Lu Ming's head, they all exclaimed. Chapter 2439. In the Purgatory Suppression Realm, a group of powerful beings looked at Lu Ming in shock. They had sensed the abnormality here, and rushed over to check it out. They did not expect to see such a scene. No, not only is there the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet, there is also the soul of the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet. Ha ha ha, it is the blessing of the ancestors. The Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet and the soul of the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet have returned. From now on, all 9 tablets will be gathered. The experts of the Purgatory Suppression Realm laughed as if they had gone mad. But at this time, there was a change in Lu Ming's body. The third bloodline let out a roar. In the blood sea, endless blood qi spread out. Lu Ming's body was covered by a layer of blood qi, as if it was going to devour Lu Ming. Buzz. Above Lu Ming's head, the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet vibrated and emitted endless light. A powerful suppression force suppressed the third bloodline. Rumble. The third bloodline shook violently and burst out with shocking power to fight against the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet. The Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet buzzed and then shrank. It flew back into Lu Ming's body and hovered above the third bloodline, suppressing the third bloodline. The third bloodline was eventually suppressed by the powerful suppressive force. It slowly flew back to Lu Ming's spine and lay low. Lu Ming took the opportunity to control the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet bloodline and let it fly back to his spine. The huge Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet in front of him also quieted down, and everything returned to normal. Everyone's eyes fell on Lu Ming. Little brother, how did you get the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet and the soul of the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet? Elder Lu looked at Lu Ming with a burning gaze. Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet? Are there many Purgatory Suppression Tablets? Lu Ming did not answer. Instead he asked. There are a total of 9 Purgatory Suppression Tablets. 1 main tablet and 8 auxiliary tablets. They are the life treasures of the ancestors of the Purgatory Suppression realm. However, in the ancient war, the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet was shattered and the soul of the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet disappeared. 2 of the fragments of the Purgatory Suppression Tablet disappeared. Now the Purgatory Suppression realm only has 8 auxiliary tablets and 1 fragment of the Purgatory Suppression Master Tablet. Elder Lu explained patiently. I see. Lu Ming nodded. He did not expect there to be 9 prison suppressing steels, 1 main steel and 8 auxiliary steels. The main monument had been shattered, and the 2 fragments that Lu Ming had obtained were the fragments of the main monument. No wonder the prison suppressing steel reacted the moment Lu Ming arrived. Young man, how did you get it? You even managed to get the spirit of the main boulder. We thought that the spirit of the main boulder had vanished. Elder Lu continued asking. Senior, the soul of the main boulder you mentioned was automatically awakened in my body when I was cultivating. It's considered my bloodline. As for the 2 fragments, I obtained them by chance later on. Lu Ming explained. A bloodline awakened from the body? Elder Lu and the others were all stunned. They were extremely shocked. In my opinion, the spirit of the Purgatory Suppressing Boulder didn't dissipate, but was reborn in this young man's body. In the Prison Suppressing realm, another white-haired old man spoke. This person was also an elder of the Prison Suppressing realm, and his cultivation was unfathomable. That's right, haha, it's really the blessing of the ancestors. The other people of the Prison Suppressing realm were all full of smiles. Young man, please come with us. Elder Lu's face revealed a gentle smile, and then flew towards the depths of the Prison Suppressing realm. The other people of the Prison Suppressing realm also followed. Lu Ming, Qing Song, and the others also followed. Large mountains and lakes flashed under their feet, and after flying for an unknown distance, they had already arrived at the depths of the Prison Suppressing realm. In front of them, a towering mountain appeared in front of them. At the peak of the mountain, there was also a stone monument. However, this stone monument was only a fragment, and only a section stood on the peak of the mountain. Similar to the previous Prison Suppressing monument, this broken monument also emitted a black ray of light into the sky. This is the other fragment of the Prison Suppressing boulder. Combined with the 2 fragments in the young man's body, it is the complete Prison Suppressing boulder. An elder of the Prison Suppressing realm smiled gently. Lu Ming's eyes were also shining. Along the way, he had never given up looking for the other fragments of the Prison Suppressing boulder, but after searching for so many years, he had not found any clues. He did not expect that the last fragment would be here. Lu Ming felt that the Prison Suppressing boulder in his body was constantly vibrating, as if it was about to break through the sky and leave. Young man Lu Ming, we have a presumptuous request. Elder Lu looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's heart moved and said, Senior, please speak. The Prison Suppressing 9 monuments are the life treasures of the ancestors of the Prison Suppressing realm. In the ancient war, the ancestors fought with the enemy and fell, leaving only the Prison Suppressing boulder to guard our lineage. However, the Prison Suppressing 9 monuments are after all incomplete, and it is difficult to exert its full power. This old man represents the Prison Suppressing realm, and would like to ask young man Lu Ming to return the Prison Suppressing boulder to our lineage, and let the 9 monuments be combined. This way, the Prison Suppressing 9 monuments can be maximized. Elder Lu said. As expected, Lu Ming's eyes flashed. When Elder Lu said that he had a presumptuous request, he guessed that the other party would make this request. The others of the Prison Suppressing realm also looked at Lu Ming with hope. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and said, Senior, please forgive this junior for not being able to agree to this condition. Not able to agree? Elder Lu's face changed slightly and said, Young man Lu Ming, you saved Wu Tai and the others. Logically speaking, we should not make such a request of you, but the prison-suppressing boulder is too important to us. Please return it, and our lineage will definitely compensate you accordingly. Young man, if you have any conditions, please state them. Senior, that's not what I meant. It's really difficult to return it. Lu Ming shook his head. Elder Lu's face was a little ugly, and the others of the prison-suppressing realm were the same. You brat, you don't know what's good for you. Elder Lu said that he will compensate you. Moreover, the prison-suppressing boulder originally belonged to our lineage. You have to return it even if you don't want to. In the crowd, a burly man shouted. What did you say? Shut up. Wu Tai shouted coldly, and his cold gaze swept over the man. Lu Ming was Wu Tai's savior, and this person threatened Lu Ming, so he was naturally unhappy. What? The prison-suppressing realm wants to snatch it? Qing Song said coldly, emitting a powerful aura that made people tremble. Everyone, please don't misunderstand. Elder Lu smiled bitterly, and then looked at the burly man who spoke just now, and said, Young man Lu Ming is an important guest of the prison-suppressing realm. Watch your words. Yes, Elder. The burly man's face was a little pale, and he nodded repeatedly, not daring to say more. However, most of the people of the prison-suppressing realm still looked at Lu Ming with longing. Obviously, the prison-suppressing boulder was indeed very important to them. Senior, it's not that I'm stingy and unwilling to return the prison-suppressing boulder, but I have my own difficulties. Lu Ming sighed. Chapter 2440. Difficulties. Little brother, if you have any difficulties, feel free to tell us. The hell-suppressing bloodline will do our best to help. Elder Lu said. Lu Ming pondered for a moment and said, Seniors, do you know Saint Ancestor Sha Xian? What? Saint Ancestor Sha Xian? Elder Lu exclaimed, his eyes filled with cold killing intent. How can the hell-suppressing bloodline not know Saint Ancestor Sha Xian? The others from the hell-suppressing bloodline also revealed cold killing intent, as if they had an irreconcilable grudge. Little brother, is this related to Saint Ancestor Sha Xian? Elder Lu asked. In my body, other than the bloodline of the hell-suppressing steel, another bloodline has awakened. It might be related to Saint Ancestor Sha Xian. With that, Lu Ming's heart moved and the third bloodline flew out, exuding cold killing intent. Boom. 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 At this moment, a terrifying aura burst out from the people of the hell-suppressing bloodline, soaring into the sky like smoke signals. What amazing strength! Lu Ming was shocked. There were too many experts among the people of the hell-suppressing bloodline, and Lu Ming even felt a few auras that were not weaker than Qing Song, the aura of a peak heavenly emperor. It was terrifying, and this might only be a part of the hell-suppressing bloodline's strength. It was no wonder that the hell-suppressing bloodline could fight with the foreign races for so many years and hold back a portion of their military forces. Saint Ancestor Sha Xian. It's really Saint Ancestor Sha Xian, he's not dead yet. The people of the hell-suppressing bloodline exclaimed, not hiding their cold-killing intent. Lu Ming's heart moved and the third bloodline flew back into Lu Ming's body. Elder Lu was deeply shocked, and he took a deep breath to calm down. I understand now. I finally understand why the spirit of the hell-suppressing steel would awaken in your body, Elder Lu said in realization. Senior, who is Saint Ancestor Sha Xian? Lu Ming asked. Saint Ancestor Sha Xian is a terrifying expert, an unparalleled expert who massacred the world. As Lu Zhonglai spoke, he seemed to be lost in his memories. Fear flashed in his eyes. In ancient times, a great war broke out, and the outsiders invaded the heaven world. The ancestors of the hell-suppressing bloodline were also humans, so of course they opposed the invasion. That time, a great war broke out. Legend has it that there are only a few peerless experts in the world. They are divided into two factions, and they are fighting each other. The ancestor of the hell-suppressing tribe is on the side of the heaven realm, the human race, while the sacred ancestor killer heart is on the side of the non-human race. During the primordial era, the great ancestor fought against sacred ancestor Sha Xian. The battle was so intense that even the hell-suppressing main boulder was shattered. In the end, The great ancestor and sacred ancestor Sha Xian perished together. It seems like sacred ancestor Sha Xian is not completely dead yet. His bloodline has been reborn in your body, and there's a chance for him to awaken again. However, it's obvious that the great ancestor Sha Xian had a trick up his sleeve, allowing the soul of the hell-suppressing sacred ancestor Sha Xian's bloodline to be reborn in your body. Elder Lu explained. That's right, that should be the case. The others of the hell-suppressing realm nodded in agreement. I see. Lu Ming came to a realization. He had always felt that his two bloodlines were extremely mysterious, as he had no idea where they came from, but he finally understood now. It was a battle between two peerless experts that had lasted for hundreds of millions of years. The only difference was that the battle had taken place in his body. Lu Ming's back was covered in cold sweat. In other words, he was constantly in danger. If it weren't for the hell-suppressing boulder, he would have been devoured by the third bloodline long ago. Meanwhile, Lu Ming also thought of another problem. When he was trying to rank up to the martial dominator realm, he would need to merge a bloodline with his body to transform it into a spiritual flesh. Luckily, he had chosen the Nine Dragons bloodline. If he had chosen the hell-suppressing boulder or the third bloodline, he would not have succeeded. Seniors, that's why I can't return the hell-suppressing boulder now. If I do, I'm afraid sacred ancestor Sha Xian will be resurrected. Lu Ming said with a wry smile. Sigh. Elder Lu let out a sigh and said, if that's the case, there's no need to return the hell-suppressing boulder. We can't let sacred ancestor Sha Xian be resurrected. Otherwise, not only the hell-suppressing realm would be destroyed, even the heaven realm would be destroyed. The others of the hell-suppressing realm nodded. They knew what was important and what was urgent. Either way, the hell-suppressing boulder was still able to resist the attacks of the foreign tribes. There was no rush. That being said, keeping sacred ancestor Sha Xian's bloodline would be a great disaster. We should find a way to destroy it. Elder Lu said. Senior, do you have any ideas? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Even though he could rely on the power of the third bloodline to improve his strength, allowing him to turn the tables in the nick of time, it was a ticking time bomb. If he could get rid of it, Lu Ming would rather not have that kind of power. Sacred ancestor Sha Xian is a supreme expert who has surpassed the heavenly emperors. In the ancient times, such an expert was known as the ancestor emperor. He is an existence who has stepped into a whole new level. He is so powerful that the heavenly emperors are no match for him. Even if it's just a trace of his bloodline, I'm afraid a heavenly emperor would not be able to destroy him. The only way is to get someone who is at the same level as sacred ancestor Sha Xian. Elder Lu said. Someone who is at the same level as sacred ancestor Sha Xian? Lu Ming smiled wryly. Where could he find such an existence? Senior ancestral dragon of the heaven realm is a supreme expert. If you can return to the heaven realm, there will be a way. Qing Song said. Ancestral dragon? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Everyone, you should stay here for now. We'll think of a way in the future. Elder Lu said with a smile. Immediately, everyone left and came to an ancient city in the depths of the hell-suppressing realm. Elder Lu arranged a place for them to stay. Lu Ming stayed here and cultivated in peace. The evil god tribe had 10 royal clans. They were the clans whose bloodlines were the closest to the sacred ancestor. Each of them was high and mighty, dominating a region. However, among the 10 royal clans, there were strong and weak ones. Among them, the strongest royal clan was called the First Royal Clan. For example, the first prince, who was ranked first on the longevity list, was the prince of the First Royal Clan. In the main hall of the First Royal Clan's palace, they were discussing something. At the top of the hall sat the king of the First Royal Clan. On the 2 sides of the hall sat the kings of the other 9 royal clans. The kings of the 10 royal clans had gathered. Everyone, that Lu Ming has escaped into the hell-suppressing realm. What should we do now? One of the kings of the other race asked. That duel is really a piece of trash. He was ordered to guard the eternal cage, but he actually escaped. I can't wait to kill him with a slap. Another king of the other race said coldly. Now is not the time to blame anyone, but how to solve it. That Lu Ming has the bloodline of sacred ancestor Sha Xian in his body. We must capture him and awaken sacred ancestor Sha Xian. This is related to our clan's plan. At the top, the king of the first royal clan said. Chapter 2441. Everyone fell silent as they frowned, trying to come up with a solution. The Purgatory realm is protected by the Purgatory Suppression Formation. That is a treasure left behind by the Purgatory Suppression ancestor. With our strength, it will be difficult to break it. A king of the other tribes sighed. The other kings nodded. If they could break it, they would have done so long ago. There was no need for them to wait until now. The hall fell into silence once again. The matter of Saint Ancestor Sha Xian is of great importance. We cannot be careless. I have decided to invite the Saint Ancestor. After a while, the king of the other tribes spoke. Invite the Saint Ancestor. The hearts of the other emperors shuddered. The Saint Ancestor of the other tribes had been severely injured in the battle, and had been in a deep slumber to recover. If it was not an emergency, they would not disturb the Saint Ancestor. However, they had no choice now. The Saint Ancestor Sha Xian was too important. Since the ancient times, this world had not been able to give birth to a supreme expert. There were only so many supreme experts. Each of them could determine the direction of the battle. Once the Saint Ancestor Sha Xian was resurrected and returned to his peak, it would be easy for him to destroy the Purgatory realm and the Heaven realm. This matter was worth disturbing the Saint Ancestor of the other tribes. All right, I agree. A king of the other tribes nodded. I agree too. I agree. The other kings nodded and came to an agreement. They immediately set off. The other tribes, Saint Mountain. The void trembled as 10 kings appeared in the air. The moment the 10 kings appeared, they were noticed. Oh my God! What did I just see? 10 kings together? What are the 10 kings doing at the sacred mountain? Many of the other tribes discussed in shock. The 10 kings stepped out and headed straight for the top of the mountain. The 10 kings did not have to climb step by step like the other tribes. They had the right to reach the top. Many of the other tribes were alarmed and came out of seclusion to observe the development of the matter. The 10 kings had arrived at the top of the Saint Mountain. This meant that something big was going to happen. There was a cave at the top of the Saint Mountain. There was a stone door at the entrance of the cave that was tightly shut. This was the place where the Saint Ancestor was sleeping. The stone door was engraved with dense runes. The eyes of the 10 kings were filled with sincerity and reverence as they knelt down at the same time and kowtowed. As they kowtowed, their bodies shone and turned into 10 pillars of light that shot into the stone gate. In an instant, the stone door emitted a dazzling light that illuminated the entire holy mountain. Kacha! Suddenly, the stone door made a sound and slowly opened. Behind the stone door, an aura spread out. This aura was indescribable. It was majestic and heavy, transcending everything and suppressing everything. It was unimaginably powerful. Under this aura, even the heavenly Tao became extremely docile. This was the aura of a supreme expert. The divine ancestor is awake. All of the outsiders on Sage Mountain were shaken to the core, and then expressions of reverence appeared on their faces. Regardless of the level of their cultivation bases, they all dropped to their knees and kowtowed. After countless years, the sacred ancestor had finally awakened. This caused countless outsiders to be extremely excited. Welcome, divine ancestor. At the peak of the Saint Mountain, the 10 non-human kings bowed respectfully. Why have you woken me up? A dignified and ancient voice resounded throughout the sacred mountain. This caused many of the outsiders to tremble in excitement. They never thought that they would be able to hear the voice of the divine ancestor in their lifetime. They were so lucky. Divine ancestor, the bloodline of divine ancestor Sha Xian has awakened in a human youth. The king of the first royal tribe replied respectfully. Sha Xian? Seems like his plan worked. Where is he now? The majestic voice sounded again. Divine ancestor, there's been an accident. That youth has the bloodline of divine ancestor Sha Xian, and the prison-suppressing steel. Furthermore, that youth has escaped into the prison-suppressing world. The prison-suppressing world is a territory formed by the prison-suppressing steel left behind by the prison-suppressing old ancestor. The king of the first royal tribe reported truthfully. So it's the prison-suppressing old ancestor. What a good plan. I understand now. In 3 months, I will personally make a trip to the prison-suppressing world. Before that, gather as many experts as you can and set up the 10-directional ceiling formation outside the prison-suppressing world. Here's a formation disc, take it. The majestic voice sounded. Then a ray of light flew out from the cave. The king of the first royal tribe reached out and caught it. It turned out to be a formation disc with strange patterns on it. Thank you, divine ancestor. The 10 kings of the outsiders were overjoyed. They bowed respectfully and retreated. The door of the cave closed once again. That incomparably terrifying aura also disappeared without a trace. Those who are great emperors and above, come out of seclusion and follow us to the prison-suppressing world. The 10 royal tribes stood in the sky. The king of the first royal tribe's voice echoed throughout the entire Saint Mountain. Yes, yes, sir. On the Saint Mountain, countless voices sounded. Then, figures flew out from all over the Saint Mountain. The number was shocking. In the sky, there was a black mass. All of them were great emperors and above. Go and wait outside the prison-suppressing world. We will lead the army and be there soon. The king of the first royal tribe ordered. Yes, sir. Countless experts obeyed the order. Then they turned into a black mass and flew towards the prison-suppressing world. The 10 royal tribes' kings returned to their respective royal cities. Not long after, a large number of experts flew out from the royal cities of the 10 royal tribes and flew towards the prison-suppressing world. In an instant, countless experts of the outsiders gathered outside the prison-suppressing world. The prison-suppressing world was naturally alarmed and called for an emergency meeting. The outsiders are invading on a large scale. They have mobilized countless experts. Looking at the formation, the 10 royal tribes of the outsiders have all moved. It seems like they are after the bloodline of the divine ancestor Shao-Xing. We must not give the bloodline of the divine ancestor Shao-Xing to them. That's right. We have the prison-suppressing formation. They will not be able to break through. The upper echelons of the prison-suppressing world discussed and unanimously decided to resist until the end. Without the lips, the teeth would feel cold. They naturally understood this logic. Once the bloodline of the divine ancestor Shao-Xing was handed over, the prison-suppressing world would be the first to be destroyed when the divine ancestor Shao-Xing recovered. Countless experts of the prison-suppressing world were also on the move. They were ready to fight at any time. However, the outsiders did not attack. Instead, they began to set up a formation outside. This made the people of the prison-suppressing world puzzled. Were they going to attack with a formation? But for now they could only wait. Is it coming? Lu Ming whispered. He also came to the periphery of the prison-suppressing world to observe the situation. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. On this day, a terrifying aura suddenly came from outside the prison-suppressing world. This aura was indescribable. It was too terrifying. The moment it appeared, the heavens and earth fell silent. It was as if the laws of heaven and earth, the great Tao of heaven and earth, and the heavenly Tao had all stopped moving. Only this aura was supreme. Even through the prison-suppressing formation, one could clearly feel it. Chapter 2442. This aura. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat as his pupils constricted. He had felt this aura before. It was on the Void Sacred Island. The statue on the Void Sacred Island exuded the same aura. It was supreme and oppressive. That was the aura of someone of the same level. It was the aura of a supreme expert. Due to the great prison-suppressing array, there was a layer of black fog outside the purgatory realm. It was impossible to see through the purgatory realm from the outside, and the outside could not be seen from the purgatory realm either. But now, under the suppression of the aura, the black fog outside the purgatory realm dissipated completely. One could see that there was a light screen between heaven and earth, covering all directions. That was the light screen formed by the great prison-suppressing array. Outside the light screen, Countless other races stood in the air or on the ground. There were so many of them that it was impossible to count them all. Suddenly, the space outside cracked open, and a figure stepped out from the crack. However, the figure was shrouded in a layer of black light, and his appearance could not be seen clearly. But the supreme aura emanated from this figure. As soon as he appeared, the aura became even more terrifying. It was as if he was heaven and earth, and he was everything. Even the heavenly Tao had to kneel at his feet. Greetings, Divine Ancestor. All the other races bowed respectfully. Divine Ancestor? Everyone in the purgatory realm trembled. Divine Ancestor, the other race's Divine Ancestor has awakened. In the purgatory realm, a white-haired elder said with a trembling voice. His eyes were filled with fear. This was an extremely powerful existence, but when he saw the figure, he was filled with fear. He was not the only one. Many of the purgatory realm's elites were the same. The other race's Divine Ancestor was a supreme expert, on the same level as the purgatory realm's forefather. That kind of person was too powerful. He had surpassed the heavenly Tao and the heavenly Emperor realm. He had reached a completely different level of existence. A heavenly Emperor realm existence could not withstand a single blow from him. Now the other race's Divine Ancestor had awakened and descended in person. The purgatory realm shall be destroyed. The other race's Divine Ancestor said coldly, filled with supreme pressure. Boom. The outsider sacred patriarch took a step forward, causing the sky to tremble as an enormous foot appeared, which then stomped down toward the hell-crushing world. It was so huge that it covered the entire sky. It was even bigger than the entire hell-suppressing realm. From afar, Zhang Xian could see that there was a semicircle of light surrounding the purgatory suppression realm. An incomparably huge foot, even bigger than the light barrier, stomped heavily on the light barrier. Boom. An earth-shattering explosion was heard. The entire prison suppression realm shook violently, and countless buildings collapsed. The light shield formed by the prison suppressing steel was also vibrating violently, emitting layers of ripples. However, he managed to block it in the end. The kick did not manage to break the prison suppressing grand formation. The prison suppressing grand formation stabilized. Ha, he blocked it. He can't break it. The people of the hell suppressing realm were first shocked, then overjoyed. The prison suppressing formation formed by the prison suppressing steels blocked the attack of the foreign sacred ancestor. Let's see how many moves this stupid formation can block. The outsider ancestor coldly spoke. A beam of destructive light shot out from his forehead, transforming into 9 gigantic swords that slashed down towards the hell-suppressing grand formation. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying explosions sounded continuously. The entire hell-suppressing realm was like a small boat in the ocean, swaying with the waves. It seemed like it would be destroyed at any moment. The 8 prison-suppressing steels around the hell-suppressing realm trembled, emitting boundless light. The main steel fragment at the center of the hell-suppressing realm also emitted boundless light, strengthening the prison-suppressing formation. However, the foreign sacred ancestor's attack was too strong. The terrifying vibrations caused many of the weaker cultivators to vomit blood and fall to the ground. Boom, boom. The mountains began to tremble violently, causing them to explode. Debris flew everywhere, and dust filled the air. Not good. If this continues, we won't be able to hold on for long. The foreign sacred ancestor was also heavily injured back then. After so many years, he still hasn't recovered to his peak. Otherwise, the prison-suppressing formation wouldn't be able to hold on. If the prison-suppressing steels gather, we might be able to hold on. Voices rang out one after another. Many cultivators of the hell-suppressing realm were extremely anxious. After all, the foreign sacred ancestor was a supreme expert on the same level as the hell-suppressing ancestor. Although the foreign sacred ancestor was injured back then and had lost his peak strength, the prison-suppressing formation was formed by the treasures left behind by the hell-suppressing ancestor. He wasn't the one controlling it, so it was naturally weaker. Moreover, it was just a broken formation. How could it possibly withstand the attack of the foreign sacred ancestor? It would be broken sooner or later. Now they were caught in a dilemma. If they let Lu Ming return the prison-suppressing steel, the prison-suppressing formation's power would definitely increase. However, if they did that, sacred ancestor Shah Xian would be revived. If they didn't return the prison-suppressing steel, they would be unable to hold on and would die. Lu Ming's eyebrows furrowed deeply. He was also considering if he should control the prison-suppressing steel and let it gather to increase the power of the prison-suppressing formation. However, if he did that, without the prison-suppressing steel, the third bloodline would definitely take the opportunity to devour Lu Ming's consciousness. The situation was extremely dangerous. What should we do? Everyone was extremely anxious. Roar. Suddenly, a dragon's roar could be heard. The dragon's roar shook the heavens and the earth as a supreme aura filled the place. Whoosh! Far away, the void vibrated violently before it cracked open. A dragon's claw suddenly reached out from the void. The dragon's claw was so huge that it seemed boundless. It grabbed at the countless foreign races and trapped them within it. At this moment, the foreign races, including the kings of the 10 great king tribes, were extremely terrified. They felt like they were going to be turned into ashes by this claw. It's you worm. The foreign race's sacred ancestor roared furiously. With a wave of his hand, a gigantic palm slammed out and collided with the dragon's claw. Boom! A terrifying explosion occurred. The sky within a radius of a few million miles exploded, causing countless cracks to appear in the space. The same thing happened to the ground below. Explosions occurred continuously as lava shot up into the sky. Terrifying. This was way too terrifying. Just a single move was enough to destroy the heavens and earth. If it weren't for the protection of the foreign race's sacred ancestor, many of them would have died. Roar. The dragon's roar shook the heavens as the space exploded. A gigantic true dragon appeared in the sky. This true dragon was so huge that it was at least 1,000,000 miles long. As it circled the sky, it covered the sun. Countless people were dumbfounded. Ancestral dragon. It's senior ancestral dragon. Qing Tsang exclaimed in surprise. It's senior ancestral dragon. Senior ancestral dragon is here. We're saved. The experts of the prison-suppressing world laughed maniacally. They were extremely excited. Chapter 2443. The ancestral dragon was millions of miles long. It was too majestic. His body circled in the air, and his dragon head had already extended to the depths of the sky. When his dragon eyes opened, it was as if there were 2 suns in the sky. Ancestral dragon. Lu Ming whispered. His eyes were filled with excitement. The ancestral dragon was said to be a supreme expert in the heaven world. Even the Dandan was full of respect when he mentioned the ancestral dragon. Back then, Lu Ming had obtained a drop of the ancestral dragon's blood and refined it in his body to increase the strength of his physical body. Now the ancestral dragon was obviously the real body. Roar. The ancestral dragon let out a dragon roar again. His powerful aura made the faces of countless foreign races pale. In front of a supreme expert, ordinary heavenly emperors could not even withstand a single blow. Worm, you haven't recovered from your injuries. Do you think you're a match for me? The divine ancestor said coldly. Although his body could not be compared to the ancestral dragon, his aura was not weak at all. It's just a fight to the death. The ancestral dragon spoke. His voice was like thunder shaking heaven and earth. A mantis trying to stop a chariot. When the sky opens, none of you will survive. All of you will die. The divine ancestor said coldly. We can only fight. This was the ancestral dragon's reply. Boom. Then, the ancestral dragon stretched out a dragon claw and attacked the divine ancestor. The body of the divine ancestor of the foreign race emitted endless light. In the light, his body expanded rapidly, becoming millions of miles long. He stood tall and was no smaller than the ancestral dragon. The divine ancestor threw out a palm and collided with the ancestral dragon. Heaven and earth exploded, and it was a scene of destruction. Set up the Great Seal Array. The divine ancestor's voice was heard. Set up the array. The king of the first royal race roared. A disc array appeared in his hand, emitting endless light. Countless foreign races flashed and formed strange seals with their hands. Runes spread out from their bodies. Countless foreign races spread out countless runes. And with the king of the first royal race as the core, they formed a huge array. Countless runes began to condense, forming huge chains that wrapped around the ancestral dragon. Roar! The ancestral dragon roared and wanted to retreat, but he was entangled by the divine ancestor. As the two of them fought fiercely, countless chains covered the entire area and trapped the ancestral Gragon within. The ancestral dragon roared, causing the void to collapse. He struggled with all his might, trying to break free. However, the Great Seal of the 10 Directions was set up by the joint efforts of countless foreign tribes. It was unknown how many Heavenly Emperor Realm and Heavenly Emperor Realm powerhouses there were. The might of the great array laid down by so many experts was simply too shocking. Even someone as strong as the ancestral dragon couldn't break free for a while. Emoku, do you think you can do anything to me with this formation? Ancestral dragon roared. Emoku was the name of the alien race's sacred ancestor. I can't do anything to you. It's enough to trap you for an hour. After an hour, you won't be able to turn the tables. The foreign race's divine ancestor said coldly. Then he turned around and walked towards the prison suppression world. Boom. The outsider's sacred ancestor didn't waste any time. He attacked directly, sending an enormous palm smashing toward the hell-crushing realm. At the same time, destructive light shot out from his forehead, transforming into 9 swords that slashed toward the hell-crushing realm. Boom, boom, boom. The light barrier of the hell-crushing realm shook violently again. The sacred ancestor continued to attack, causing the light barrier of the hell-crushing realm to ripple. The entire hell-crushing realm was shaking even more violently than before. It was obvious that the sacred ancestor didn't go all out earlier, as he knew that the ancestral dragon would come. Now that the ancestral dragon was trapped by the Great Seal of the 10 Directions, the sacred ancestor was going all out. The earth of the hell-crushing realm shook violently. Mountains collapsed, rivers stopped flowing, and the ground caved in. It was a scene of doomsday. What should we do? If this continues, we won't be able to hold on any longer. Senior ancestral dragon is trapped. He will need an hour to break free. Based on the current situation, the hell-crushing realm won't be able to hold on for an hour. Some of the powerhouses of the hell-crushing realm were extremely anxious. When the ancestral dragon appeared, they thought that they were saved. They didn't expect the alien race's sacred ancestor to have predicted this, and set up a formation to stop the ancestral dragon. Once the formation was broken, they would all die. What should we do? Everyone was extremely anxious. Many of them looked at Lu Ming. Now only Lu Ming could turn the tide. If the fragments of the hell-crushing steel in his body and the soul of the main hell-crushing steel, and the secondary hell-crushing steel combine, the power of the hell-crushing realm will definitely increase greatly. But what about Sacred Ancestor Sha Xian? If we kill him before Sacred Ancestor Sha Xian devours him, won't Sacred Ancestor Sha Xian die too? Someone whispered and looked at Lu Ming with evil intentions. What did you say? Do you want to die? Wu Tai shouted coldly. His figure flashed and appeared in front of Lu Ming. His eyes flashed coldly as he stared at those who spoke. Qing Song also moved and appeared beside Lu Ming. If anyone dared to have any ideas about Lu Ming, he would attack violently. Not only the two of them, but those who were rescued by Lu Ming from the eternal prison also stood beside Lu Ming, emitting a cold aura. Their attitude said it all. The faces of those who spoke just now turned pale. Shut up, all of you. Lu Ming is the savior of the hell-crushing realm. Do you understand? Elder Lu shouted coldly, and then looked at Lu Ming with an apologetic expression. Lu Ming smiled and was not angry. At such a critical moment, it was normal for some people to have such thoughts. If sacrificing Lu Ming could save everyone, many people would have such thoughts. The world shook more and more violently. The attacks of the foreign tribe's sacred ancestor were getting more and more violent. He became 1,000,000 miles tall, and stood between heaven and earth like a supreme deity. He attacked the hell-crushing realm as if he wanted to destroy the world. A few minutes later, boom, boom, the hell-crushing realm shook violently. The light shield formed by the hell-crushing realm kept changing shape. If this continued, it would collapse at any time. It had only been a few minutes. It could not hold for an hour. Crack. Suddenly, a sound rang out, making everyone's heart beat wildly. This was because a crack had appeared on the hell-crushing realm. Everyone, let's attack together. Set up the array and resist together. Elder Lu roared and took the lead to charge forward. Attack! Let's fight to the death. Fight! Countless people in the hell-crushing realm shouted and rushed forward like locusts. They started to set up an array in a huge open space. There were countless elites in the hell-crushing realm, from the peak invincible realm to the ethereal Arch realm. So many people set up a large array. Their auras merged and then they attacked together. Boom! They threw out a palm at the same time, and a huge stone tablet flew out. It passed through the light shield and blasted toward the sacred ancestor. A bunch of ants. You overestimate yourselves. Chapter 2444. The foreign race's divine ancestor slammed his palm on the stone steel. The stone steel formed by all the experts of the hell-suppressing realm shook violently before exploding. The weaker experts of the hell-suppressing realm, such as the Void Emperors, trembled violently and spat out blood. Continue. Elder Lu and the other elders yelled and attacked again. Endless light flashed as they formed another giant stone steel and flew out. Attacking from the inside, the hell-suppressing Grand Array's light shield wouldn't stop it at all. A bunch of ants die. The foreign race's divine ancestor roared as a destructive light shot out from his forehead and hit the stone steel. The stone steel instantly exploded. This time, many Void Emperors of the hell-suppressing realm were thrown back, as if they had been hit by a mountain. They spat out blood and were severely injured, unable to continue fighting. Even some of the true emperors had blood flowing out of their mouths. I'll go with you. Qing Tsung rushed out and gathered in the Grand Array. He turned into a giant 9-headed golden lion and attacked together with the Grand Array. Whoosh! Whoosh! Then Wu Tai and the others also rushed out and joined the Grand Array. Kill! Countless experts shouted and threw out another stone steel. Boom! 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 The experts of the hell-suppressing realm set up a Grand Array and worked together with the hell-suppressing Grand Array to block the foreign race's divine ancestor. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than a dozen blows. However, the people of the hell-suppressing realm were completely at a disadvantage. The reason the foreign race's Grand Array was able to block the ancestral dragon was because they had been inscribing the Grand Array a few months in advance. The Grand Array was extremely perfect. In addition, they had more experts than the hell-suppressing realm. Moreover, they had the array disc given to them by the foreign race's divine ancestor. That was why they were able to block the ancestral dragon. On the other hand, the people of the hell-suppressing realm had hurriedly set up the Grand Array and had far fewer experts than the foreign race. Naturally, they couldn't fight against the foreign race's divine ancestor. Bam! Bam! The experts of the hell-suppressing realm were sent flying far away and fell to the ground. They spat out mouthfuls of blood and lost the ability to continue fighting. In the end, even the great emperors and heavenly emperors trembled violently and turned pale. This was especially true for some of the strongest experts, such as Qing Tsung and Elder Lu. They were the core of the Grand Formation, so the backlash they received was much greater. Their bodies trembled slightly, and blood flowed out of their mouths. Block it! The old bodies of Lu Zhonglai and the others were trembling, but their wills were firm, and they refused to retreat. That's the only way. Behind him, Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly and let out a long sigh. At this point, there was no other way. There was only one way, and that was to combine the prison-suppressing monuments. With the prison-suppressing steels combined, the power of the prison-suppressing Grand Formation was greatly enhanced. Only then could it withstand the attacks of the sacred ancestors. As for Saint Ancestor Sha Xian, he could only take it one step at a time. Lu Ming wouldn't have allowed himself to be devoured by Saint Ancestor Sha Xian. Prison-suppressing steel, go! Lu Ming growled. His body glowed, and the prison-suppressing steel appeared. Wang. As soon as the prison-suppressing steel appeared, it began to vibrate violently. It expanded rapidly, and emitted a boundless radiance. Wang, Wang, buzz. In the hell-suppressing realm, the fragment and the 8 secondary steels shook violently, as if they were very excited. Oh no, Lu Ming, don't be rash. Qing Song roared. Think thrice. Wu Tai and the others also roared. If Saint Ancestor Sha Xian was reborn, the consequences would be even more severe. However, Lu Ming's eyes were firm, and he was unmoved. Go. Lu Ming roared. With a wave of his hand, the prison-suppressing steel flew into the depths of the hell-suppressing realm at lightning speed. Then Lu Ming completely cut off his connection with the prison-suppressing steel. The prison-suppressing steel sped up and entered the void. In an instant, it arrived at the fragment of the hell-suppressing realm. When the two of them were close, the fragment of the hell-suppressing realm flew out from the mountain peak and towards Lu Ming's prison-suppressing steel. Wang. The two of them collided and fused together. All the fragments of the prison-suppressing main steel fused together to form a complete prison-suppressing steel. Moreover, it had the spirit of the main steel. At this moment, the prison-suppressing main steel expanded again. It was as tall as the sky, and it emitted a shocking wave of energy. The other 8 secondary steels began to vibrate violently as well. All the light gathered and formed the prison-suppressing grand formation. In an instant, the power of the prison-suppressing grand formation increased tremendously. The cracks that had appeared previously disappeared. Boom. The attack of the foreign race's divine ancestor landed on the prison-suppressing grand formation. The prison-suppressing grand formation only produced a slight ripple, but it was not as big as before. The complete prison-suppressing grand formation would take the foreign race's divine ancestor a long time to break it even at his peak. If he wanted to break it now, it would take even longer. By then, the ancestral dragon would have escaped. However, the foreign race's divine ancestor stopped and laughed. Ha ha ha, how foolish. Without the suppression of the prison-suppressing steel, let's see how you're going to resist the devouring of the murderous heart. At this moment, Lu Ming's body had indeed undergone a tremendous change. As soon as the prison-suppressing steel left, the third bloodline immediately turned upside down. Rumble. The sound of endless waves could be heard. The third bloodline seemed to have turned into a sea of blood. The sea of blood roiled as endless energy swept towards Lu Ming. Die die die. A loud roar filled with boundless murderous intent slammed into Lu Ming's divine sense. It was trying to devour Lu Ming's consciousness and completely take over Lu Ming's body. In an instant, Lu Ming's eyes turned blood red. So did his hair. Even his body grew many bone spikes. He looked extremely ferocious. Ha ha ha. The foreign race's divine ancestor burst out laughing. Lu Ming, hold on. Qing Song used the lion roar to help Lu Ming suppress the murderous intent, allowing Lu Ming to regain his consciousness. However, without the suppression of the prison-suppressing steel, the third bloodline's power was simply too strong. Its murderous intent was even more terrifying. In an instant, Lu Ming's consciousness was almost completely devoured. Lu Ming finally realized how lucky he was in the past. It was only because of the suppression of the prison-suppressing steel that he was not devoured by the third bloodline. The third bloodline would only be able to take advantage of him when he actively borrowed the power of the third bloodline. Otherwise, he would have been devoured by the third bloodline long ago. As such, even though the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was very advanced, Lu Ming was unable to unleash its full power. It was mainly because the prison-suppressing steel was focused on suppressing the third bloodline. Devour, rebirth, kill. The sea of blood roiled and formed a giant face. It kept changing and shaking Lu Ming's consciousness. Ruler. Lu Ming suddenly roared and began to execute the Tao of the ruler. His body suddenly emitted a dazzling purple-golden light. In an instant, the power of the third bloodline was actually pushed back a little. Lu Ming's consciousness also became clearer. It's working. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Chapter 2445. Lu Ming immediately sat down cross-legged and focused on channeling the Tao of domination. His body was covered in a purple-gold light. For a moment, the purple gold and blood-red light on his body kept rolling. Domination. Domination of the world. Domination of everything. Get out of my way. Lu Ming hollered in his heart. The power of the path of domination protected his soul firmly in the center, making it impenetrable. Rumble. After being blocked, the third bloodline seemed to be enraged. Waves of blood surged into the sky, trying to drown Lu Ming. It kept attacking Lu Ming. Oh no, the power of the world is quickly depleting. Lu Ming's expression changed. Controlling the Tao of domination to resist the third bloodline was depleting his power of the world very quickly. If this continued, he wouldn't be able to hold on for long. Wait, the Tao of domination can dominate the world. If I can dominate the entire world, I can naturally do the same with the energy of the world. Lu Ming's heart moved, and then he emptied his mind. At this moment, it was as if he had become one with the world. It was as if he had become the ruler of the world. Whoosh whoosh, with a single thought, the infinite energy of heaven and earth was under Lu Ming's control. It helped him resist the erosion of the third bloodline. Instantly, the consumption of his power of the world was greatly reduced. It's working. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The Tao of domination was indeed magical. He had a feeling that he had just comprehended the Tao of domination not long ago, and was still weak. If he continued to improve in the future, the Tao of domination would become stronger as his cultivation continued to increase. At that time, he might really be able to dominate the entire world and borrow the power of the world. How powerful would that be? For example, if you controlled the power of the entire heaven realm to attack your enemy, how powerful would that be? It was unimaginable. Lu Ming completely blocked the third bloodline's invasion with the Tao of domination. No matter how much the third bloodline went crazy, it was useless. This power. How is it possible? How is it possible? How can anyone in this world control this kind of power? Outside the hell-suppressing realm, the alien race's divine ancestor's eyes widened as he roared in disbelief. He knows this power of mine? Lu Ming's heart moved. As far as he knew, no one in history had ever controlled this kind of power. What did the outsider's sacred ancestor mean? This power. Ha! Good. At this moment, Ancestral Gregon laughed heartily. However, his laughter was the complete opposite of that of the outsider's sacred ancestor. He blocked it. Qing Tsang Wu Tai Lu Zhonglai and the others were also overjoyed. If Lu Ming was able to resist the sacred ancestor Sha Xian's invasion, it would be a turn for the better. Damn it, I'm going to destroy you all. In the blink of an eye, half an hour had passed. Roar. The dragon's roar shook the heavens and earth. Countless outsider experts trembled violently and spat out mouthfuls of blood. Bam, bam, bam. The runes on the ancestral Gregon's body continued to explode and dissipate into energy. In a few breaths, all the runes had exploded. Even the kings of the 10 royal tribes trembled violently and spat out mouthfuls of blood. The ancestral Gregon had broken free. Damn it! The sacred ancestor roared. He stopped attacking the Great 10 Directional Seal, and turned to attack the ancestral Gregon. However, the ancestral Gregon didn't want to fight him head-on. Instead, he shrunk his body to 12 meters long and dashed toward the Great 10 Directional Seal like a bolt of lightning. As long as the ancestral Gregon entered the Great 10 Directional Seal, and destroyed the sacred ancestor Sha Xian's bloodline, they would have won. Don't even think about it. The sacred ancestor knew what the ancestral Gregon was planning. He shrunk his body and tried his best to stop the ancestral Gregon. However, their strength was on par. The ancestral Gregon didn't want to fight, and was focused on the Great 10 Directional Seal. The sacred ancestor couldn't stop him. Sha Xian retreat. The sacred ancestor roared. Even if he tried his best, he wouldn't be able to stop the ancestral Gregon for long. Rumble. The sea of blood that surrounded Lu Ming shook violently. It seemed extremely indignant. In the end, all the sea of blood and blood aura shrunk into a drop of blood. It transformed into a blood-red lightning, and flew out of the suppressing hell array. Lu Ming had completely lost his connection with the third bloodline. Whoosh! The drop of blood formed by the sacred ancestor Sha Xian's bloodline was extremely fast. In a flash, it rushed out of the Great 10 Directional Seal. Whoosh! Whoosh! the ancestral Gragon and the sacred ancestor pounced toward the drop of blood at an incredible speed. Chapter 2446. What a pity! Ancestral Gragon sighed. The bloodline of Saint Ancestor Sha Xian was in the hands of the foreign tribe's divine ancestor. However, now that it was in the hands of the foreign tribe's divine ancestor, it was impossible to completely destroy Saint Ancestor Sha Xian. In a flash, Ancestral Gragon entered the Purgatory Suppression formation. I'll spare you today. It won't be long before the Purgatory Suppression world and the Heaven world are destroyed. I'll definitely succeed in splitting open the heavens. All of you stubborn people will die. The cold voice of the foreign tribe's divine ancestor rang out as he ordered the foreign tribes to retreat. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Countless outsiders soared into the sky and vanished without a trace in the blink of an eye. The sacred ancestor of the foreign tribe cast a cold glance at Lu Ming. Then he took a step forward and disappeared from the world. The great battle ended just like that. Thank you for saving us, Ancestral Gragon. Greetings, Senior. Qing Tsang, Elder Lu. And the others flew over and bowed to the Ancestral Gragon. It was said that the Ancestral Gragon was the ancestor of all true dragons in the world. His seniority was too high as he had lived for countless years. No one knew how the Ancestral Dragon appeared, nor did they know how long the Ancestral Dragon had lived. At ease, the Ancestral Gragon turned into a burly old man in his human form. He waved his hand casually and appeared in front of Lu Ming in a flash. He looked at Lu Ming carefully. At this moment, Lu Ming was trying his best to recover. Just now, he had used up too much energy to resist the third bloodline. His autonomous realm energy was about to dry up. In the end, he managed to hold on. External energy continued to pour into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's autonomous realm energy was quickly recovering. After a while, Lu Ming let out a long breath and stood up. The third bloodline has finally left. Lu Ming felt extremely relaxed. The third bloodline was like a ticking time bomb that threatened Lu Ming's safety. Although it could help Lu Ming at times, Lu Ming would rather not have it. Now that the third bloodline, which was the bloodline of Saint Ancestor Sha Xian, had left, Lu Ming felt relaxed. It was as if a huge rock had been lifted from his heart. When he opened his eyes, Lu Ming saw the Ancestral Gragon. Although the Ancestral Gragon turned into a human, his aura remained the same. Lu Ming quickly stood up and cupped his fists. Junior Lu Ming greets Ancestral Gragon. Haha, there's no need to be so polite. Ancestral Gragon laughed heartily. When he looked at Lu Ming, his face was full of smiles. I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect that there would be someone in this world who could control this kind of power. Ancestral Gragon sighed. Lu Ming was stunned. When the Ancestral Dragon mentioned the power of the Master, it was obvious that he was referring to the power that Lu Ming controlled. Name? You. Lu Ming asked curiously. I know, but this power is too rare. Even there, it's very rare. I'm not very clear about the specifics. Ancestral Gragon said. He then looked at Lu Ming and said, you have to cultivate well. If you continue, you might be able to break the limit and step into the Supreme Realm. Yes. Lu Ming nodded. Then Ancestral Gragon looked at the hell-suppressing realm's Elder Lu and the others, and said, staying in the Fiend God world for too long is not a good idea. Instead, it will give the foreign races an opportunity to take you down one by one. Why don't you come with me to the heavenly world? Senior, we also want to go to the heaven realm. But there are countless people in the prison suppression realm. We can't bring them over. Yes, although a peak heavenly emperor doesn't need a space tunnel, and can directly tear space, cross the long void, and enter other worlds, they can only move alone. They can't bring anyone with them. Even if there's a grotto heaven treasure, it will be crushed when crossing the long void. The elders of the prison suppression realm spoke one after another. To be able to go to the heaven realm and meet up with the powerhouses of the heaven realm, they were naturally willing to join forces. But even if a peak heavenly emperor could directly cross the long void and enter another world, they could not bring anyone with them. Even low-level emperor weapons could not be brought along. In the long void process, They would be torn apart by the void storm. Even if they were placed in the sea of consciousness, it would be useless. Therefore, even if there was a grotto heaven treasure, it would be useless to put people inside. Similarly, cultivating a small world was also useless. It turns out that a peak heavenly emperor can directly cross the long void, from one world to another. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He thought of when he was captured by Wuxia. At that time, Wuxia directly passed through the void and took him down. Wuxia was a peak heavenly emperor. This I naturally understand. It couldn't in the past, but it doesn't mean it can't now. The ancestral Gragon smiled and explained. Now the 9 prison suppression steels are gathered. As long as they are controlled, they can form a prison suppression space that can accommodate countless people. With the level of the prison suppression steels, even if they cross the long void, they can still block it. Really, that's great. Haha. The people of the prison suppression realm were all ecstatic. Back then, I was an old friend of the prison suppression steels, and I also know some ways to control the prison suppression steels. Let's do it now, the ancestral Gragon said. After saying that, the ancestral Gragon's body emitted a powerful aura, and his hands quickly formed seals. Buzz. The 9 prison suppression steels began to vibrate, and then slowly floated in the air. The 9 prison suppression steels resonated with each other, and gave birth to a space. That was the prison suppression space, and the grotto heaven treasure had the same meaning. Enter. The ancestral Gragon growled, and a powerful suction force was produced. The entire prison suppression realm, the endless population, all flew into the prison suppression space. Finally, Lu Ming, Qing Song, Elder Lu, and the others also entered the prison suppression space. The prison suppression space was also a world, vast and boundless, with endless mountains. We didn't notice it before. Elder Lu and the others were overjoyed, and began to arrange people to let the endless population of the prison suppression realm live and reproduce here. As for the ancestral Gragon, he kept the 9 prison suppression steels and took a step forward. The space directly split open, and he traveled through the void towards the heaven boundary. After an unknown period of time, the ancestral Gragon's figure appeared in the prison suppression space. I'm already in the heaven boundary. The ancestral Gragon smiled. So fast. Everyone was overjoyed, and at the same time shocked. The ancestral Gragon's strength was unfathomable. He had returned to the heaven boundary from the evil god boundary in such a short time. Follow me. The ancestral Gragon waved his hand, and Lu Ming, Qing Song, Lu Zhonglai, and the others disappeared. In the next moment, they appeared in the sky. Standing in the sky and looking around, they found that under their feet was an incomparably huge mountain. There were many buildings on the huge mountain. Around the huge mountain, there were several huge cities. So many experts. Lu Ming was shocked to find that there were terrifying auras coming from the huge mountain. There were heavenly emperors, and there were also great emperors. The number was shocking. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.